Hey guys, today is July the 12th of 2022 and I want to go over gold. I've been getting a lot of requests on my thoughts on gold, so let's give it a shot. It's been very challenging to trade gold. In my last video, I said now is not the time to be buying gold, and so far my forecast has been panning out. But let's get into this. Right here is a chart of seasonalities of gold, and this is a 5 years, and normally July is strong. August is kind of flat using 5 years. There's no data for September. If we go 10 years, I like using 5, 10, 15, and 20, and you can see that July and August are pretty decent. September is the weakest. Let's just go now to even 15. You can see that July and August are a little stronger, and September is the weakest. 20 years, July and August are still the strongest. September is still the weakest. So just remember that. July and August are the strongest. September is the weakest. Kind of like a nursery rhyme. So what we need to see is that in this month and next month, we start making higher highs and higher lows, and then maybe top out in September. But if you look at price action, that hasn't happened. Here's another tool I use in regards to seasonality, and we can see that from year to date, gold has been down, let's see, somewhere around minus 3.35%. And if we add a 5-year average, you can see that somewhere around July 7th and the 12th, we kind of like bottom out. And then we continue going higher in August. And then somewhere in September, the first week, we kind of hit a peak and then it pulls back in. That's the 5-year average. If we do a 10-year average, you can see that it kind of goes sideways, even maybe lower to a July the 19th. Or you can say the 20th, around there, 19th, 20th. And then from there, you know, it starts making higher highs and higher lows in August. And it peaks out somewhere around September 2nd, pretty much the first week of September. And then it kind of maybe goes sideways to lower. If we do a 15-year, you can see that it made a bottom or swing low somewhere around June the 22nd, and then it just starts trending higher, and this one just kind of continues. So I'm looking more at the 5 and the 10-year, and you can see that price action, you know, trends higher between July and August, and September hits a peak and then it pulls back in. What I want to see is that somewhere between July we start making higher highs and higher low. In regards to COT report, silver, palladium, platinum, and can't remember the other one, maybe it's copper. Their trend is lower, so it's negative. And gold is not negative yet, but it's like sideways, it's flat, so it's yellow. It's like cautious, especially with this price action that we had recently. Hasn't been favorable for the bulls. So I, highly suggest you to be cautious if you were even thinking about going long, because you want to see price action confirm it first. Like I said, price is king. It's going to do what it's going to do. We're just kind of trying to decipher what's the probability. And, looking at seasonality, these are the dates you will probably want to focus to see if there's going to be a possible turning point or a nice big, bull kicker candle to show that maybe the turn could be coming. But until then, you just have to be patient and wait, because it may continue even going lower and the seasonalities won't play out, even at least for these 2 months up. Maybe it'll just continue going down into August, into September and bottom out. Who knows? But that's what the seasonality chart is saying, also in regards to dates. The cycle chart for gold futures, GC, and this is the weekly. And there's a few cycles here. The dominant cycle is the 246, and I have a cycle here of 242, and this is what it looks like. It shows that it hits a trough somewhere around April the 23rd of 2023. It cycles down. Is that going to play out? We don't know, but it's at least good to know that if we continue going lower, this is where that cycle ends and then starts going up. Correlation is not bad. It's a 0.54. There's another one, which is the 158. What's interesting is here is that this one is going up, and here we just been, in chop fest. The correlation is not great on this one. So this is like what I call the oddball one. It's just different than the other cycles. The next one will be the 108. And this one has no good correlation either. You can see we hit a peak here, kind of pulled back down. It just kind of went sideways. And now we hit another peak here on June the 12th. And this one bottoms out somewhere around May of 2023. And then there's this one that's kind of growing. It's 83. It's a little more fractal. And this one is still down to like January. So what I get out of this data, let's take the highest one, 242, and get the 108. The correlation is 0.59, somewhere around April. Yeah. Take the 83. The correlation is 0.55, so it's a little close to February. So that's what the data is showing. I have a saying that I don't like trading against the weekly cycles, because you'll get some, like let's say we start making higher highs and higher lows in July and August, then, it will continue pushing lower until these cycles reverse. You can see that it's not perfect. We made a low here, it went sideways, kind of went up here, went down, it really went sideways, and then here it kind of followed the cycle. It peaked early, we peaked here, cycle's pointing down, we kind of went sideways, double top, and now look like if this low doesn't hold right here, it probably might find support somewhere around this level here. Got the daily chart, and this one's a little interesting. There's a couple of cycles here that have some strength in regards to the spectrum cycle analyzer. Here's a 184. You can see that the correlation is not great on this one, but you can see that it picked this peak here, and now we're hitting a trough, which is July this week, July the 13th, and then we go up to October. Mind you, we know that September is kind of weak, so we have to be cautious. But there's a cycle low using this. This is actually the strongest one. Well, it's not really the strongest. It's 184. There's a 104, I believe. You can see that this one is inverse, or it's not really. It's no good correlation here. It's a little smaller. And then there's the 240. What strikes me with this cycle is that this one bottoms out in September. So meanwhile, July and August, seasonality-wise, it's stronger. This one bottoms out September. So a couple of things to dissect here. It could be that we could continue trending lower, sideways to lower to September, since we know that's the weakest, or one of the weak months of gold, and then maybe turn around and maybe get a pop. That's a probability. Also is that we could get a pop in July into August and then pull back down into September. So those are the only two ways I see it. Or we just go sideways to lower, because right now we're not making any new highs, so the trend is down. And if these If these lows don't hold, 1732, and you can see 1683, there's a lot of demand here. If these levels don't hold, or if we push into September and we're somewhere around 1683, I mean, I doubt it. We're very close to that, unless we're going to go sideways for July and August. That's a probability. So taking the 240, the 184, using a composite, you got a good correlation of 0.53. Let's take the odd one. And the odd one even says that we were supposed to be going up to July and then down. So that might not play out if we're going to try to do the seasonality. So this is what you get in regards to the projection forecast on the daily. Let's see, there's a 143 here. And this one bottomed out June 22nd. And this one hits a peak. This could also play out if it's going to follow this cycle. Because we know that somewhere within the 5-year average and the 10-year average on the first week of September, it peaks. So if this was to play out, the 143, yeah. So that's that. Let's go now to the chart and see what we have there. This is the last chart of gold. Let's look at the monthly. The monthly, we're still in a buy zone unless we take out 1533. Now we're entering this demand zone right here. And you can see the Hikanashi candles are negative. And we were in a triangulation form pattern right here, and we fell right below it. Let's look at the weekly real quick. Yep. And now we got a sell signal on the weekly. And if we go to the daily, we've had a sell signal since April. And we haven't retested the demand zone, supply zone actually. Now this is going to be red, and we failed. And now this is all demand. So even up to 1671, it's all going to be demand right here. So my conclusions are, let's see how those dates I told you about July, even to the 20th, see if this is all demand right here. If anything changes and we at least get out of here, at least close above 1775, maybe we have a fighting chance to do the seasonality of July and August being strong, but we're going to probably stall somewhere around here if we even get up here. We could just be in chop fest pretty much. But we know that September is the weakest month. So if we just continue going sideways and then just push low into September down here, then that's a probability looks likely that could probably happen. But if we start making higher lows, you just know that we got pretty much 2 months to do that. Now, however high we get, if you go long, get a buy signal. Once we get to September, maybe lock in profits and get a nice little swing to the upside, because things could probably turn around back down. Well, those are my thoughts. Hopefully you like this video, and I'll keep you posted on my thoughts on gold using WEN price and time technical analysis.